everybody? Right on 310 here. And yeah, coming to you live from the garage. Let's make sure I can read these text message or the text messages. Any comments? Of course, the brand new orange windshield from Clockworks, thanks to rollingthrottle.com, where I got mine from, and where you can get the orange ice, or any other color you may choose. You may be asking, why am I taking the fairing off again? Well, let's just say I have an issue. There is one issue concerning this headlight. Yes, the Shark Demon headlights do have an issue. What issue, you may ask? Well, let me show you. Well, let's see if I can show you, actually. I'm going to try it here. Well, there ain't nobody really watching, but yeah, we'll see. See if anybody shows up. Maybe, maybe not. But as you can tell, if you look close enough, you see that there's a gap right here, and there's not much of one underneath, but mostly on the sides. Right here and right here. They go up into the fairing. Though y'all that know me know, I like to ride in the rain. So what's in the fairing that the rain could actually affect if it gets up in there? Well, to answer that would be your stereo, your amp, all that mess. So what I'm going to do is do some old school engineering techniques, because they don't supply one, and I don't like the gap there for the rain. So I went to local Lowe's, got some toolbox padding. It seems to be fairly waterproof. It's made out of rubber. So what I'm going to do is take the fairing off, put this on the back side of it. Hey, how's it going, Ronnie? And see if I can't make my own gasket for the headlight to prevent water from getting up into the fairing, splashing up onto the amp and the speakers and the radio and all the other electronics that's in the fairing. So that is the one issue that I do have about the Shark Demon headlight from Custom Dynamics. And I've been thinking it's been an issue with the controls, but it's not. It's actually water getting up in through the side of the headlight. So we're going to take some of this tool matting and make my own gasket to go on the back side of it. But first, I got to take the fairing off so I can actually get the headlight and figure out what kind of cut-in I'm going to do, as well as, come on out of there, as well as use some RTV, just a little bit for dabs to hold that in place, and create my own gasket for my headlight, so that way no water's getting into the fairing, underneath the fairing of the bike, which can damage the electronics, the radio, as well as the amp, the stereo equipment that's in there. So you'll see that here in just a second, because I've been adding weather stripping and everything else to try to prevent water to getting up underneath the fairing. And the other day, last time I rode in the rain, it was a downpour, and of course the stereo started acting up. So the only other possibility is rain and water is actually getting into the fairing via the headlight. And I'll be able to show that. I'll be able to demonstrate how much of a gap there is here in just a minute once I get the fairing off. It's a little bit hard to see because, well, it's dark in the backside of the fairing. inside the fairing. It's not light. So we're just going to take the T27, take off the 7 bolts, because the 3 windshield bolts and the 2 bolts on each side is actually what holds your fairing on. Or at least on a bat wing anyways. So I'm going to take these off. And for those, anybody wondering what kind of thing I got holding my phone up, it's one of those octopus clamps things that I seen on TikTok. Figured why not? $4, so I'll give it a shot. Works pretty good. Nice car. Don't see no car. Well, this might as well be my car. Put it up, come on out of there. Now I have put some weather stripping in here before, but it's just not holding up because, of course, naturally. But as you can see all that daylight around that headlight? That's where water comes in, and when it's raining hard enough, it makes its way into the fairing. So that's what that tool mat's for. I'm gonna place it here, cut around right around through here, and pretty much either take some screws, put right there and right there, or like I said, get some RTV, run me a bead right around through here, right down through here, because this stuff ain't sticking. It's coming loose because it's getting too wet, evidently. So we're gonna fix that problem. So therefore no water comes out, it comes into the system, into the fairing. It ruins my stereo. Yeah. So, that said, let's turn this around where you guys can see and I can see. Let's turn you all around. Thumper dumper, huh? Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it's just part of life for me, actually. Oh, please do not mind the mess. I am a working person, so it's not like I've got all kinds of time to do everything in the world, so. And being that it's raining right now, we just got done dumping storm, so. Let's see, pull that out. Looks good enough. Take good old box cutter. Oh yeah, that stuff's real good thick. Bought this roll of toolbox mat at Lowe's for about, I think it was 15 bucks. It's a bit more than what I was wanting to spend, but same time, had to get something, and that's all that they had. So I'm going to turn around. Cut me a little hole in the middle here, because this doesn't have to exactly be perfect. It just has to be enough to block the water. So we'll run the light head through there, cable for the headlight through. I mean, I understand and I know that the headlight has to have some air to breathe. I get that. But at the same time, though, I don't think it has to have a required amount of room to let that much water in, because it lets in a ton of water. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, all I'm going to do is that. So I'm going to try to make it to where it's got room to breathe, because we all know how hot LEDs get. So it's got cooling fans and stuff back here, so I don't want to smother it too much. And I'm just going to try to find a nice little spot to put this at, and pretty much Jerry-rig this. Yes, I am Gen X, and yes, we do know how to adapt things to our likings. I might not even need any thing. I might just cut these release slits for these pegs and just let it rest on them. And just let it sit like that. Because as long as the fairing closes, it's just that easy. But the main reason why I'm doing this though, like I said, is I keep having water issues with the bike. Because last time I rode in the rain, water was all over the inside of the fairing. And the only way you get water inside the fairing is water's finding a way in. And when you got gaps big enough to where you could see daylight, heat shield? No. It's actually just a toolbox liner, basically is what it is, toolbox lining. But it's rubber, so I figure it's durable enough and it's not that really thick, so hopefully this will work. We're fixing to find out because I'm fixing to put it back on the bike. We're fixing to put it back and see whether or not it works. Or see how much fun I get to have putting it back on the bike. Because we all know, space in the front fairing, if you ride, and especially if you've got a stereo, space is an accommodation. It is a necessity that gets used up very easily. So, we'll put this back in, make sure we ain't got no pinched wires, which always seems to happen somehow. And boom. Put it back on. Is that in? Nope. It's not. Go figure. One thing I always hate about these screws, they're so long and you think, and if you listen, you can hear them screwing into something, but you can't really tell they're in until you start actually screwing them. This stupid heart monitor. Yeah, if it wasn't for the heart monitor, I'd be at a hog rack right now, actually. So, oh, okay, cool. How's it going, Mr. Slappy? But, waterproofing, indeed. If you got a stereo in your bike, which most people have at least an amp underneath the fairing that they put in. If you get a fairing, have them put a fairing in, especially these bat wings. You got to make sure you got a little bit of protection for them. And if you go like what I did with the Shark Demon headlight, the headlight itself is, I love it. It's basically what Harley should put on a freaking bike to begin with. Just saying. I mean, it's that much better of a headlight. That it should actually be a factory headlight. But, of course, we all know how Harley is. Don't we? Those of us that ride Harleys and stuff, we all know how Harley is. They want to make sure you can customize it as you want, because they already know you're going to do something to it when you buy it. So they don't put a lot of effort into putting in things that probably should be on them to begin with, in my book. And the Shark Demon headlight is one of those things. I'm actually surprised that the 25 Lowrider S's and STs came with LEDs right out of the box. I was glad to see that. I mean, that's a good safety. LEDs on a bike are a safety thing, believe it or not. I mean, you always get that famous, well, I didn't see them. Okay. Fine, you didn't see them. But here's the thing. When I got these bright LEDs all over them, if you still say you can't see them, then you definitely weren't paying attention to the road. Just a fact. So, I mean, at some point, something's gonna have to give. And for me, it's all about being able to make sure that I can be seen. Others can be seen. That's one reason why I don't care to sit in the back of a pack. I can run with with just about any biker that's on 2s or on 3s even, on any road. So I mean, it's not a question of whether or not I'm in the back because I can't hang with everybody, you know. It's not it. I'm in the back. I don't mind being in the back because, one, I got a fat rear end. And two, that fat rear end's lit up pretty nicely. Because I got the fender lights on the back from Zero 3D because Custom Dynamics didn't create the tail light, the rear fender bottom tail lights, brake lights. They only have the front fender headlights, which I don't have yet. That's one of my next things to possibly get before too long. And ooh, I like that. No more daylight. It all rubbered. So it should be good now. I shouldn't have any more issues with water. But I mean, because I know on Tuesday I get to take this heart monitor off, and me being grounded from riding in the rain is going to be done with. I'll be able to ride no matter what I want, no matter the weather. So starting Tuesday afternoon, it can rain as much as it wants and I'll still be riding. It's just, right now I can't get this thing wet, so I have to be mindful of the weather. So I figured while it's raining, I might as well just, oh, you got a 14 Ultra. Nice. Ultra limited at that. Nice. I'll let y'all see the bike. And as you can tell, it didn't push the headlight out any. It actually pretty much sealed up the hole. But as you can see though, this is your factory rubber ring. So if you've got a factory daylighter, this fits snug around it and there's no water intrusion. But as you can tell though, with the Shark Demon, you've got the vents right here, the heat sink vents that let water in, and then you also got this big gap. I mean, I can put my finger through there, no problem. Let's say thumb distance, yeah, thumb will fit on both sides. So you got that area for water, this area for water, this area for water. So if anybody happens to be watching from Custom Dynamics, which I doubt that they are, you may want to possibly think about trying to figure out a way to prevent water intrusion off the Batwing fairings. Because I don't think this is an issue with the road glides. I don't think. I'm not for sure, because I don't have a road glide, as you can tell. I've got a tri-glide. But it uses the Street Glide Batwing. So I just decided to create my own water thing. And yeah, the reason why the cover's off is because, well, I'm trying to get this thing clean. It got a little dusty. But that's the weather for now. We just had a storm roll through about 15 minutes ago. We're supposed to get more bad ones here in a little bit, but it's kind of sort of where I live. So Tuesday I get to take the heart monitor off. Wednesday I head to Mobbin in the Mountains. For those wondering where Mobbin in the Mountains is, it's in Summersville, West Virginia, at Summersville Lake Retreat. And it's being hosted by no other than Rolling Throttle, It's a camp fee, tent fee for the retreat, or a hotel room, or whatever you decide to do. But other than that, you can join us for rides for free. I think he's doing giveaways from what he was saying. But we're doing rides Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we're having party, nice. Having after parties and stuff Friday night. Maybe Thursday night, Friday night, and probably Saturday too. But, I mean, it's gonna be a blast, so. I mean, anybody and everybody's welcome to come out and join us, support Rolling Throttle. Because he's actually helped put this, he's the one that put it together, he's the one-man show, runs the company that he's got, rollingthrottle.com, by him. He is also a one-man show for that, minus the support of his wife. And a couple of us that knows him personally that helps out. So, shout out to Drew and Crystal, the rest of the Rolling Throttle crew, Dallas, Penny, Tweedle, DDK, Dr. Harley. Who else is there? There's quite a few. Corey, Evil Rick, all of them all got channels as well. So, if you happen to follow any of them, you may have heard them talk about mobbing in the mountains. But that's where all of us will be come Wednesday. Rain or shine, and I'm sure we'll be riding rain or shine. Which is fine by me, because I ride in all the weather. I just like riding, period. It just sucks that I ain't been able to ride the last couple of, well, since yesterday afternoon when I got back, because can't get wet. Or can't get the chance of getting wet. Even with rain gear on, we all get wet eventually, depending on how hard it rains. So, as for the bike, if anybody's wondering, the K&N air filter and the Screaming Eagle throttle intake, it's the only things that I've changed on the motor. Everything else is pretty much factory. So, yeah, but that's going to hopefully change before too long too, because the bike's almost paid off. But anybody got any questions? If so, drop a comment. We can chit chat for a little bit. I'm fixing to work tonight. I think I'm going to work on a video tonight of a collaboration video of videos from the past Sturgises. For those wondering or thinking about going to Sturgis for their first time, it is a must, I feel. And it's not so much the party that's a must for Sturgis. I feel it's more of a must for the rides. If you have not ridden the Black Hills area in South Dakota, you are missing out greatly. I mean, they've got some very nice roads and nice rides. Some very technical roads too, that you have to pay attention when you're riding. Because there's people always, oh, I can ride this, I can do that. End up getting themselves into trouble while they're out there. So, well, none of us want to see anybody get hurt or anything else. So, just be forewarned. You go to Sturgis, you're going to do the rides. Stay within your limits, please. Just like around here. People that ride the tail, they had an 18-wheeler today. Show up on the tail today. Even though the cops, miraculously, all last week were posting constantly on Facebook. We're gonna up our patrolling of the tail. We're gonna bust speeders. Blah 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 blah. You're caught speeding, you will get a ticket. Blah blah. Yet they failed to keep an 18-wheeler off the tail, which is extremely a lot more dangerous than people speeding, believe it or not, because they can't go across the tail without taking up the entire road, no matter where they're at. So you come around a corner and an 18-wheeler be right there, guess what? Chances are it's not going to end up nicely. It's going to be pretty tragic, actually. And if something like that happens, I hope the people end up being okay. But if not, I hope they do get their justice from the state, the county, as well as the trucking company, because all three would be at fault. Because it's the county and the state that's supposed to help make sure 18-wheelers ain't on that road. I mean, everybody always tries to hold the speeders and the people that cause a wreck accountable, but it's also the state and the county that's responsible as well. They want to grab and complain and get money from everybody all the time, but yet don't really want to uphold stuff that they're supposed to do. Because it's boring to have to sit at the end of the road, the last safe turnaround spot for an 18-wheeler to make sure they don't get there to turn them around. So let them get up on the tail, get hung up, cross the road, tear up the road, which adds more dangerous issues for once the truck's gone and towed off the tail. But yeah, wintertime is not that bad. You can actually see a good distance. Summertime, like right now, you're not going to see around too many curves. Not enough to be able to tell that there's something blocking the curve up ahead until you get up ahead and there's a truck there. Unless someone happens to walk around it and starts stopping everybody ahead of time. Then you end up with the traffic back up. It can cause another issue. So, Devil's Triangle is about 35-40 minutes away from me here. And the Dragon is about the same. It's about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. But those two rides they're fun. They're my play around rides, basically. My favorite ride in the area really is the Skyway. And Highway 30, which I'm not sure there's a name for Highway 30 given by bikers, but I consider it to be the mini tail, basically, because, well, it's a twisty fun ride, especially when you take it from the Parksville Lakeside and head back towards 411, because that end of it pretty fun, because you got the twisties as well as you also got some up and downs too. So it's a technical road, not to be taken lightly. Highway 68, it's an okay ride. It's almost like the Skyway per se. It's got some areas, it's got some tight twisties, but not that many. But it is a fun ride. You go up and down the mountain into Polk County from Monroe County. But there's plenty of roads around here that are really twisty. So that's one reason why I know how to ride the trike on a twisty as good as I do. But also want to say that I will be at Smoky Mountain Bike Rally this year, and I am plans are for me to actually host a meet and greet as well as a ride during Smoky Mountain Bike Week. As far as the day, I have not yet pinpointed that out yet. And one reason why is because I want to make sure I can get back from Sturgis this year without an issue again on the bike, which I'm planning on possibly trailering it this year so that way I can actually ride it more. That is one thing you have to think about. If you ride the Sturgis from the East Coast, especially Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and probably even all the way up the coast even, is Sturgis is about 1,800 miles from the house. So if I want to stay within 5,000 miles, you guessed it, it doesn't leave a whole lot of, leaves me about 1,500 miles worth of riding to do in 2 weeks up there in the rally, which doesn't take long to eat up. It really don't. Because the trip from the Buffalo Chip, which is where I've been staying at and will be probably staying at again this year, to Needles, do the loop, coming back up Iron Mountain Highway, going into Keystone, back in the Rapid City, back out to Sturgis, is almost a 200-mile ride. That whole loop. And that's if you go through Deadwood. So you'll come out of Sturgis, hit Deadwood, go up and over, hit needles on that end, drop down, hit 16 into Custer Park, come up Iron Mountain Road, go through Keystone, Mount Rushmore's there at Keystone before you turn off to Keystone, and head back to Rapid City, and then you head back up the interstate to Sturgis if you want, or whatever other roads, because there's a few of them that go back to Sturgis. Devil's Tower is another lengthy ride. So, and I think the shortest ride that everybody likes to do at Sturgis, realistically, is probably Spearfish Canyon. It's probably the shortest loop ride that you'll do while at Sturgis. Might be Vanocker Canyon, but I don't think it is. I think it's Spearfish, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody that's watching happens to be at that's happened to ride out at Sturgis. What seems to be the shortest loop ride that you know of that you've took that involves Spearfish, Needles, Iron Mountain Highway, Devil's Tower, Vanocker Canyon. I know I will be attending Red Rum's Veterans and Warriors Memorial Ride, or tribute ride that they do every year during the rally. I will be going on that ride again this year. A very highly recommended ride for a good cause. It supports the Native American veterans and warriors that they have. The list of that they support that needs help. That's what that ride's about. So I always ride it. Of course, naturally being a Marine veteran, kind of sort of a thing. So I do it, and I do that ride. I'm not sure if Support Bikers is doing their ride into the Buffalo Chip this year. I haven't heard nothing yet from them, but they might be. And I might even hold the meet and greet while at Sturgis this year. I'm still debating on that one because I don't know where I would want to take everybody to. That's free, that's a ride that I like, that, kind of sort of off the beaten path per se, but out there it's kind of hard to find or figure out something. So I may have to talk to my sister, because she was stationed out there for a while. She actually was born and raised out there, so she knows the roads a lot better than I do. But I know a lot of the roads here in Tennessee, and the route that I've got coming for Smoky Mountain Bike Week, it is going to be about a 100-mile ride, but it is going to be a fun ride. So as long as everything goes good in Sturgis and everything goes according to plan, I will be hosting that ride. Oof. Rain's picking up. Step back up in here in the garage. And so I hope people come out and visit the Smoky Mountain Bike Rally. It's going to be their third year this year. Last year it picked up quite a bit. First year was bigger than what we thought, bigger than what they thought it was going to be. And it's the same week as the Fall Myrtle Beach Bike Week. So if you're tired of Myrtle Beach in the fall, tired of the cops harassing you and so on and so forth, and you're still wanting to go to a bike rally that's on the eastern side of the U.S., come check out Smoky Mountain Bike Week. It's in Maryville, here in Maryville, Tennessee. So I'm sure they would love to have people. They've been supportive every year, so they've been supported so far. They've been supporting the thing so far. I know the first year, the cops had started off roping off a section of Main Street. The second they noticed it got full, they extended it. They closed off another block or two. That got filled up. They went ahead and just closed off the entire road. So to say that the cops would give you a hard time at Smoky Mountain, probably not going to be too much of an issue. I haven't heard many people gripe and complain about them. The cops have always been supportive of everybody that shows up because the city's trying to get help build the rally up. They actually want the rally there because they want to be the next big Sturgis. Or Daytona even. Well, probably Sturgis more than Daytona, because Daytona is more of a party than a riding rally to me. And Sturgis is a riding rally, and Smoky Mountain Bike Week, that's more of a riding rally because you got the tail of the dragon about 15-20 minutes away. You got Cherahawk Skyway, which is just on the other side of the tail, and you got a ton of other roads around. If you hook up with a local, they'll show you where they're at. They'll take you out on them, and you'll be like, "Whoa, I didn't know this was out here." So check out Smoky Mountain Bike Week this year. I think it's September 27th to October 7th, I think is what it is. I'm wanting to say. I ain't got it sitting in front of me, so I can't really. Memories kind of sort of goes in and out, so. One reason why I managed to miss the sound competition this year at Daytona. I forgot about what day it was. Just like the other day, a couple weeks ago, I'd already made plans to do a cannonball run at Smoky Mountain Harley Davidson for their college event, their college support event, and also had registered for a sound competition the exact same day down in Atlanta. Couldn't make the Atlanta trip because a buddy of mine, and that's one thing about me, is if I tell you I'm going to show up and you're one of my friends, I am definitely going to make sure I show up. One way or the other, I will be there. Because let's face it, your word's only as good as you can make it. As good as you support your own word, so. So where's everybody from that's watching? It says there's 5 people watching. I'm just kind of curious. I know Mr. Slappy G's in Michigan. He's from Wallen, Tennessee, which I think I've heard of. I just can't remember exactly where I've heard of it or where I've seen it. I'm sure I've probably been through it. It's probably the reason why I've heard of it. 2 people disappeared. Go figure. But anyhow, stay tuned, because I'm going to go ahead and end the live being nobody wants to chit chat. So we'll head back inside and I'll get to working on the collage video for Sturgis for a pre-rally video. I would do one for mobbing, but was told about mobbing last year a little too late, so I couldn't get off for it. So I ain't got no footage for that. But Dr. Harley does. Rolling Throttle does. She Rolling Throttle, I think, does, as well as Dallas and Tweedledee. I think all of them, I think, has footage from last year's mobbing on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So go pay them a visit. Because if you're in West Virginia, especially near Summersville, West Virginia, and you're thinking about trying to come out next weekend, you want to see what's mobbing in the mountains all about, check out the videos that they've got on their channels. And stay tuned on mine, because I'll be posting videos from it too after we get done with it. So catch y'all later. Have fun, stay safe, keep on riding. Catch y'all later. Bye.